The Secrets of Magic. The Art of Astonishment. And I bought a dusty old magic book. Y'all remember books, right?
Yep.
In it, there was this beautiful piece of magic called the traveling scarf. So I set about to learn it. And I followed the directions very precisely because precision is important. And for this to seem like real magic, it must seem impossible. But our minds reject the impossible. And that makes my job difficult, if not impossible. So the directions said to shove the scarf into my hand and to form it into as tight of a ball as I could. And then to wave the wand over it. Yep, that's all right. Wave the wand over it, which I did. And I even threw in 2 of those arched eyebrow whatchamacallits that the TV magicians do. And ta-da! The scarf has traveled to my pocket. Now I know your brain frantically searches for any logical explanation. You think things like, that scarf did not just travel to his pocket. That would be impossible. It probably just vanished. That was an entirely different scarf in his pocket. Or some of you may be looking at the awkward way that I'm holding my left hand and thinking that scarf probably never left his left hand because he never showed it empty. Well, that's because I can't, because it turns out those 2 whatchamacallits I did, they make a farm fresh egg appear in your hand. Now, hopefully, just for a moment, some of you felt that experience of that magical feeling that I try to give you. But believe it or not, there's some people that just refuse to imagine the impossible with me. They think crazy things like, maybe that egg isn't so farm fresh. Maybe Mr. Magic Man somehow figured out a way to drill a hole in a farm fresh egg and he emptied out the farm freshness. And then he just stuffed the scarf inside of it. See, just that little theory would have taken away that magical feeling for any of you that had it, because if you have like any kind of plausible explanation, then the magic can't exist. So as ridiculous as that theory is, it can ruin the magic. See what I'm saying?
I clap, but I have your frock in my hand.
So that's the way it works, and life does that to us too. Just like thinking that the magician has a second scarf balled up in his pocket, life gives us little words like instinct and stuff to explain away the impossible that we see around us every day. They use words like instinct to explain away spider webs and the octopus and migrating birds. But see, there's this bird called the Pacific golden plover that it makes a 3,000-mile migration from Alaska to Hawaii. The little bird should only be able to fly 2,500 miles. He should fall in the ocean before he gets to Hawaii. But by flying in formation, he saves 25% of his energy so it can just make it to Hawaii. The world tells us instinct, and then we think things like, well, its parents probably taught it how to get to Hawaii and how to fly formation. So just like the magician shoving the scarf into the farm fresh egg, we think we have an explanation. Just like thinking that there's a second scarf hiding in the pocket. So the wonder dies. The magic is vanished. We don't see it anymore. But there's something else you should know about this little bird. When this little bird's about a month old, the parents go back to Hawaii without the children. Must be nice, right? And they leave them in Alaska. And then for the next few months, the babies grow up in Alaska. And then one day, they take to the air and they get into a formation with no nanny, no guide, a formation nobody's ever shown them. And they fly to a tiny island in the middle of the Pacific where they've never been, and they reunite with their parents. And they say instinct. They say DNA, but some of these golden plovers go to Argentina, some go to Siberia. So if you examine closely, sometimes the hole in the theory might be, Shannon, would you get me a glass? Because I forgot to get that from you. There might actually be a hole hiding in their theories. And behind that hole is hiding a world full of magic and wonder. This is the slow part of the show where I forgot the glass. Thank you, miss. Will you examine that and make sure it's the real egg?
Oh, yeah.
And
Drink it. Drink
now,
it.
according to